Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. So guys, a lot of people are really upset about the ROTOS nerf that's coming. And rightly so in a way, because it's like a real nerf. It's not just like a pretend nerf like the Madame one. So what I want to show in this video is like, how do you play ROTOS now? And then actually, how do I think you're going to have to play ROTOS in the future, but still have him kind of busted? That's what we're going to show. And I genuinely think that he can still be pretty broken in the future if you play with him in the right way. And what you tend to find is like any big champion release, any big buffs or nerfs, there tends to be a bit of a change of the guard. Yeah, there tends to be a situation where you look at your champion pool and you're like, how do we overcome the next big thing, or how do we utilize the big buff, or how do we get past the big nerf? And it'll be no different here. So when Torment came in, there was this kind of big push of how do we deal with a Torment, and the meta swung. Okay, when ROTOS and Sifi then came in, the meta swung again, and it's actually almost returned similarly back to where it was in the first place. Ultimately, we start to look at gear in a different way. We start to look at our champion pool to say, well, how do we get past this new super beast in the arena? The super beast was actually ROTOS, and you know what? A bunch of block revive champions started to be used more. A bunch of people that had multiple hits start to be used for more, and the meta changed. So the meta will change again, but I think that ROTOS still has a place in the meta. So what have I done? I've got 2 ROTOS The Lost Rooms. I'm impacted more than most people, guys. But I'm fine with it. So what have I done then? I have changed up one of my ROTOS builds to show you kind of like what the impact will be before and after. So I've got ROTOS The Lost Room here as my hard-hitting, 100% crit rate, 274 crit damage, high attack, fairly slow speed ROTOS. This is how I run him right now. So at the moment he has got a skill on his A3. It's all about his A3, guys, for the arena at least. Ignores 75% defense. When I then run him with Helm Smasher, he has got a chance to ignore 50% chance of ignoring an additional 25% of the health defense. Sorry. So when this procs, I ignore 100% of the enemy's defense, which basically means I just need to hit hard enough to take out their HP pool. Yeah. So what's going to happen in the future? Basically, that move is no longer going to have 75% chance. It's going to have a 60. So we're going to lose 15% of that ignore defense. For now, let's forget the block revive part, because we're going to get into that in a minute. So the second ROTOS, what I've done is I've taken him out of Helm Smasher. He's got a slightly lower crit damage, slightly lower attack, because I'm trying to account for this kind of change in the meta. And what we're going to do is we're going to run the 2 in the arena back to back, and I'm going to show you how I would deal with the changes. Okay, so we're going to come into the arena. We're going to look for a team that makes sense for me to fight here. So I guess let's start with a team like this. They're going to be quite quick. I'm in plat, so it's high end, guys. I've not dropped down to gold or something to make this happen. We're still high end. So what do I see in the meta right now? We've got 2 people that can revive here. So block revive from ROTOS is actually kind of silly good, yeah? So I'm going to run my current strong ROTOS, not the one I've built to be like the future, the one that is present. And we're going to go speed into speed. He's going to get attacked from my Arbiter. And then basically what you can do, because I'm running ROTOS, I can just build a team that is all about control. So I've got 2 people that might be able to resurrect my ROTOS. I've got shield set here and defense. I've got healing, revives, all of that good stuff. Everything about my current team with the ROTOS as he is right now is about making sure that he gets as many turns as possible. It's about protecting him as much as possible. So I can bring a Warlord in here, and I can just say, you guys can't do any of your main abilities. My Sifi could just sleep out any problems. And then ROTOS currently will come in, and you'll be like, I'm going to block revive on someone. So they've got 2 revive champs here. I'm going to throw the block revive on their only threat, the only damage dealer, block revive, out the game. That's why ROTOS is so strong. And then I can probably pick on one of the revived champs and steal a load of their health and one-shot them. And then all we got to deal with now is Sifi. So that's the way ROTOS works right now. And should have gone for Sifi there. That was a mistake. We're just going to get our shields up. For some reason, she's not going to rip them off. Keep people's turn meter down, yeah? And then all I'm doing is I'm waiting for ROTOS to get another turn here. That's all. This whole comp is built around him and his crazy abilities, yeah? So all we're doing is waiting for the A3 to come back. Keep people locked down with this comp. And it's not the quickest farm comp, but what it actually is really good for is it's really good as a defensive setup. That's, for me, where ROTOS is going to be most hurt. So we're just going to take Sifi out of the game, and then we'll just finish this off. So as a defensive setup, it's really good. And the reason for that is because if someone comes and hits your ROTOS hard, he won't be one-shot. He can't be one-shot unless he gets hit by like a double hit or a triple hit. So as a defensive setup, you build yourself a chance to win the game. Now, if I look at the future for ROTOS, and I think to myself, let me try and get someone with 2 revives again. Have we got anyone around with 2 revives? I should not finish the team off, actually. Let's just get the same sort of team if I can, with a couple of revives. 1, 2 revives. Here we go. Sprut, you're the man. 2 revives out there. Now, the future for ROTOS will be slightly different. So at the moment, I'm having to run, or I can run a 3rd champion, which is all about control. It could have been a provoke champ. It could have been a freeze champion. It could be a shield champion like a warlord. Anyone that protects my ROTOS here. The difference being, in the future, you actually need to get in somebody who's going to drop defense before your ROTOS starts smacking, okay? So what you're doing is you're losing a champion because of this ROTOS nerf, and it's significant. It's not insignificant, okay? But how would I have to play my ROTOS in the future then? The start goes exactly the same. I need to drop their defense now because I'm not going to have that 100% chance to break defense, okay? We're just going to sleep this fella. And now with my ROTOS, what I'm actually going to have to do, instead of trying to take out their damage dealers like I was doing before, I'd actually be looking for who can revive champions. So I know that I won't have block revive on this skill anymore, but I'm still going to get an extra turn if I kill someone. Okay? So I'm looking at this and saying, well, who's the hardest person to kill? And I've got defense down now. I've got 60% ignore defense on my ability. And if I've got Helm Smasher on as well, that makes it 85%. So I'm ignoring 85% of the defense out straight. And then we've got the remaining defense, we've got 60% decreased defense on it. So they're still going to be running at like, what, minus 95, minus 90, minus 95 defense, something along those lines. So if you built your ROTOS well, and this is my now weaker ROTOS, I still think you come in and you one-shot one of the revivers. 100k. It will be slightly less than that on the new build. So let's say it was 80k. There's definitely still not going to be a tank that's got less than 80k. Sorry, what am I saying? There's not going to be a tank that can survive that hit, basically. So the A3 does the same job, right? You then come in with your A2, which is how you start to activate your A3 properly. And instead of going for a damage dealer, you go for the other person that can revive champions. So you go for the Arbiter, and you one-shot your Arbiter. Now, they are saying that damage is slightly reduced. We don't know how much of a difference that's going to make. But I'm pretty certain we still one-shot 2 champions with our ROTOS, okay? And at that point, all you've got to do is make sure that there are 2 damage dealers that are remaining. It'll probably be 2 damage dealers, or maybe even just 1, gets sorted out at the back end. So it will change the meta, yes, because less people will run ROTOS because they'll be fearful that a lot of their work is just not going to happen. But I tell you now, he will still be hyper strong. He will still be incredibly strong if he's built right, because he'll still be able to one-shot 2 of the enemy team if you go first. And he'll still have the same passive that if he gets hit, he'll come back at you. The main difference and the main weakness from the new build from the old to the old build is that as a defensive setup, so if this is your defense here, that I just killed, as a defensive setup, he won't block revive on his first retaliation. That's the big difference. So if you've got yourself out there, I don't know, let's say you've got an Ethos, and Ethos comes in, smacks, ROTOS retaliates, and one-shots your Ethos, your damage is out the game. So as a defensive ROTOS right now, he's incredibly strong. He won't be strong anymore because he'll one-shot your Ethos, but you'll just get revived. And then as an attacking team, you'll have more chances to win. So I think as offense, ROTOS won't be particularly different. But as defense, he'll be way weaker. So guys, look, if you got ROTOS, I appreciate you're going to be upset. Hopefully this has given you some form of... and it's sincere as well, by the way, some sort of hope that he's actually still going to be really strong, because I think he will be. Let me know what you think below, guys. I know you're upset, but I still think he's strong. I'm Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.